Welcome to the Gestalt 3-minute series. This is unit number 13, Middle Zone, Metaphor and Fantasy. So in Gestalt, we tend to focus away from the cognitive. We don't want people analysing, we don't want them thinking too much, we want them moving into their feelings, into their experience, into the here and now. Fritz Perls famously said, lose your mind and come to your senses. And often we're working hard to help clients do that because they want to move up into their heads, they want to move into their regrets or their fantasies or various kinds of, you could say, cognitive distortions or all the things that drive them. So we want to bring them into their bodies, into the present, into the relationship. However, there is a place in Gestalt for mental processes, especially in creative, imaginative forms, that is in terms of metaphors. So Gestalt works with metaphors just as much as other therapies might do. So for instance, someone says, when my teacher failed me on the exam, I felt my heart sink like a stone. And I'll say, okay, so I want you to imagine you're the stone sinking. What color are you? Well, I'm gray. How big are you? How much do you weigh? Oh, I'm like this big and I weigh feels like 100 kilos. Okay, so be that stone. Be the 100-kilo gray stone that's sinking down. And then they say, yes, I feel gray, I feel cold, I feel heavy. So by stepping into that metaphor, stepping into the experience of the metaphor, we discover some transformative possibilities for the client because the stone that's in them is sort of separate from them. Once they become the stone and they really step into owning and embodying that experience, it tends to transform itself. So that's one example. We also use language and descriptive language, which is, of course, metaphorical in many ways. A lot in Gestalt, as I said, in phenomenology, we really use the person's own language. In terms of thinking, cognitive behaviorism and working with people's thinking patterns, indeed in Gestalt, we do work with people's thinking and we work with their thinking patterns and help them become aware of that. What's important is that we're working with thinking and also feeling. So we're moving back and forth between the two. Feeling's important, but also meaning making is important. And in what we describe as the Gestalt cycle, the wave of awareness, there's the whole somatic component about feelings and emergent needs and energy rising up to do something in action. And there's also a meaning component, which is that whatever that energy rising up is, we need to identify what the need is and to find out what that is, and we need to help the person make choices and move into different possibilities. And so there's a choice, a meaning component, and then there's also an experiential component. So we unite these things together in Gestalt. In Gestalt, we also can use sometimes guided imagery. All that's possible in Gestalt. Gestalt's not a little box. Any tool or technique or trick is useful in Gestalt as long as it's going to increase awareness, it's done in relationship, and it's done in a way which is neatly timed and synced to what the person's need is in the moment. So we're not anti-intellectual in Gestalt, although we say lose your mind, come to your senses. We're also equally interested in what happens in the mind, and we're certainly interested in bringing the past, which is obviously in the mind, into the present, and also the future, which is in the mind, into the present. So we enliven these elements that are in our mind by bringing them to the present, embodying them, putting them in Gestalt experiment, and working with them.